Sometimes when you film a video, you discover an underlying human story that you hadn't expected. And Credo Asset Finance in Norwich is one such case. We originally filmed with Simon and the team at Credo to produce a case study for business coaching firm ActionCOACH. But the full story of how Simon's business was nearly wiped out by the credit crunch and how he fought back with the help of his Action business coach Roger Pemberton really shows that with a good plan and the right guidance, you can overcome anything.
Credo in Latin means trust and belief, and when I first set the company up, I tried to establish and work out why people used me as opposed to anyone else, and it's because they trusted me to make sure they got the rate they deserved and saved them money. And it's HP and leasing, and it's a very quick and easy way of lending money, because normally we see lending turned around in 2 or 3 hours typically, where it might take a bank a week to make a decision, going through to credit committees and the like. We get a lot of business from repeat business because we look after our customers and we charge really good rates. But we also have a lot of dealer and supplier introductions, so car dealers, van dealers, truck dealers, people that supply yellow plant and JCBs and things like that will refer to us because they know we look after their customers really well. And it's a great way to build a business because you can sleep at night, and it's amazing how sales can grow just through looking after people. Quickly realised I couldn't do it all by myself, and so I took a partner on board within 6 months, and an associate of probably a year or so after that, providing a slightly different field for us. And then, like a brick wall, the credit crunch hit us in 2008, and from, I think in November, doing 25 grand in that month, in December we did 6,000, and it was repeated again in January 09. My partner decided he could not live on that sort of money and decided to leave. The associate we had with us again couldn't earn the money he wanted and went to follow a different career. From building a business up over 3 or 4 years to a nice business that earned me good money, I sat there earning a quarter of the income, sat there by myself in an office, and I just couldn't see a way forward really. I gave notice on the office and suggested I was going to have to go and work at home, which I did for a few days, and sat down there and thought, do I want to go backwards? Do I want to be defeated, or do I want to try and fight back and look at the business in a different way? It was a very black few months, and it didn't look like there was light at the end of the tunnel at that stage.
Well, actually, I met Simon at a networking group, and he was advertising his service, talking about the asset finance, and so he was one of another in the room, if you like. And he came across to me and said he wouldn't mind, finding out about coaching. So it went very quickly from just being a casual meet at a networking event to a discussion about his business. He came across right from day one as being somebody who was sincere about what he did. I love the fact that his business was called Credo, meaning trust, and it goes great into a finance thing. And so I quickly warmed to where he was and what he'd done, and personally we got on well, and we seemed like a good fit, and I suppose 6 years down the line that's proved to be the case. He was even at that stage thinking about, does he go back to his home, does he take all his fixed cost out, and we discussed it and said, but actually, what's that going to do to your headspace, how are you going to feel about things? And he made 2 brave decisions in that month. One was to invest over 10% of his monthly revenues into me, and secondly was to decide to keep he'd already given notice on the office, he decided to cancel that and to stay where he was. And that was probably as low as it got, and he's done it all by really concentrating and focusing on customer service, and by really taking one of the key points of retaining customers, keeping them coming back, and massive attention on that, and worrying more about that than the individual deal.
Probably within 9 months we were looking to employ again. We were back to the old levels within a year and making big plans for a future. Changing to looking at the business in a more professional light was new to me. I'd never done it as a manager before, and I'd never done it as a business owner or director of the previous brokerage before. Never set mission statements. It really was back to basics, and I think starting from scratch on a blank piece of paper definitely changed the way I looked at a business. And if you just cover the basic areas, what's your turnover going to be, how many staff you're going to employ, what's your profit forecast, any big developments that you want for your business in that period, you can work to that.
As with all marketing business growth strategies, we had to start by looking at using the ActionCOACH 5 ways to say where was his average deal value, what do we think we could get that to, what were his average number of transactions, who were his regular transaction people, what were they like, and how did he go and get more of them. So we very much focused on looking for more repeat transaction customers, but also making sure that anybody who he transacted with the first time were thinking about coming back the next time. So using the numbers and actually setting up really good, he's got very strong management information now, which gets published and reviewed on a monthly basis to really help to decide where to go next.
In that first year after working with Roger, we might have lent £7 or £8 million, I think, as a brokerage. That's arranging finance for our customers to that tune. We saw that expand to about 11 million the following year, 15 million, 18 million, 23 million, 28 million this year. Our budget is to hit 33 million in the next 12 months, moving that up to 38 million, 45 million, and then within 5 years, £55 million brokered business. I think probably the biggest change that will see the future of Credo increase is running and growing our finance book alongside the brokerage. And we've seen our finance book grow from 400,000, where it probably remained for the first 2 or 3 years of Credo Capital Finance existence, to now having a £2 million book.
The passive income that comes from the interest on the capital finance is classic ActionCOACH stuff. Brad Sugar's always talked about creating passive income, do the work once and get paid for it forever. And that is really what Simon's built. And it's only in the last 3 or 4 months that the monthly profits from that have actually exceeded at times the profits from the brokerage. And yet all the focus has always been right over the 6 years on the brokerage, and now the passive side is exceeding that. So that is a great source of satisfaction for me to see within the business.
Going back to March 09, when I probably could have least afforded to spend that money, I took a leap of faith in Roger and decided that it was worth the risk, and I haven't really looked back since. The business has changed now. We've now got 14 employees. At the end of 5 years of the business plan that we set in 09, we had 11 employees. We had a book of 20, or we were looking to lend £28 million as a brokerage, and lo and behold, that's the exact number we hit in 2014. And we did have 11 employees in 2014. We've built that up since March 14 to 14 employees as we sit now. So we're already into years 6 and 7 of that business plan. It was amazing to see how accurate a very basic plan can be, really. And it's the business has grown exponentially. From being worth nothing in March 2009 to what we put a value on, probably £5 million maybe today. It's a no-brainer, isn't it?